1 year in business. So I am super excited to be filming this. This is a little bit late, but we're 1 year in business. Like, I am so happy. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Maya. I run a creative agency called Creative Evolution, and we do social media management, content creation, podcast admin, editing, help creators grow. Literally, there's so much we do. When I say we're a creative agency, it's all things creative. So make sure to check us out. I am going to put the website in the caption below, but we're not here for all the promo. We're here to talk about 1 year in business. So I officially hit 1 year in being in business on November the 1st of this year. Last year, I was working full-time in a creative agency, still doing social media management and content creation. However, I decided at the end of the year that I was going to take a hop and start my own business and basically do the same job, just from the comfort of my home with clients that I really want to work with and for myself. I mean, you know, there's so many bonuses to that. But I thought I'd sit down and share a bit more about what I've learned in that year, things that I would tell someone who's starting their journey or who is also a year in, also some of the ups and downs that have happened, like a real honest chat. That's what we're gonna do. So let's start with, I guess, the hardships. Let's start with the hardships. When you're starting a business, it's very bright and shiny. And where I am now, I'm very happy with, but starting out was tough. I'm not even gonna lie. You get very excited. It's a little bit daunting, but kind of like, how different is it to being self-employed, as in a sole trader? When you're a sole trader, you still run your own business, so I'm not putting it down at all. However, I started a limited company and I have done freelance sole trader work for years. So tax returns, like everything like that, I am so used to. But with a limited company, it is different. It's purely because there's lots of tick boxes that you have to go through for limited company compared to sole trader. Sole trader, you fill out your tax return. Yes, there's some bookkeeping, but you can more or less handle it yourself. Limited company, I was so daunted. I ended up hiring an accountant straight away, an accounting service. I didn't even shop around. I got bombarded because Companies House, once you post that you're live with your company, it's almost like every accounting service then gets in contact with you. So I got letter after letter about different accountants, and I ended up going with one of these accounting services. It ended up being way more expensive than I actually needed to be paying. It wasn't the most helpful because they didn't get back to me about my questions that I had, and I had a lot of questions. I wanted to make sure I was compliant and everything. It's just a different space, and I didn't want to get in trouble. No one wants to get in trouble. I didn't understand the space as much as I do the sole trader space, so I wanted to make sure that I was doing everything to a T, and not hearing back from them enough was very daunting. I don't want to be in a space where I could basically Google it or I'm feeling confused. So I ended up ending that, and there was a period of time that I was doing it myself, and that was just chaotic because I didn't know what I was doing still. So I ended up going with an accountant that is trusted in my family, and I'm so grateful because now, a year on, I have an accountant. I know what I'm doing because I've got someone who's handling and knows what they're doing, and I very much trust that. I can ask any questions, we have conversations, it's very clear. It's just one massive stress off my back that someone is handling my accounts. And I would highly recommend, if you're starting a business, first of all, don't go with the first offer. There's a period of time, you have the first year that you can work out, hopefully get it before the end of the first year. You would want to, before you start having to do returns, etc. But get yourself an accountant. Unless you're in the finance world, don't get overwhelmed with trying to work out all the nuances. Invest because they'll save you money in the long run. How little I've had to pay for my taxes this time compared to what I thought I was going to have to pay because I've got someone who's helping me. That's going to save me money in the long run, 100%. So first and foremost, get yourself an accountant. Don't be overwhelmed with the finances. It's just too much. It's also, I think, something that people get confused about is thinking that starting a business, a limited company, is expensive. It is not. You can pay 50 quid to register your company. So please don't think it's expensive to start a business. It is if you're selling goods, if you're having to do merchandise and your stock and buy stock before selling it. But for something that is like service based. So for example, like my social media management, I pay £50, and then once I get a client bonus, I am getting money in. I'm not having to expense products or anything. You can start right away, is what I'm trying to say. Don't be put off by the idea that starting a business is expensive, because a lot of people drone that in and it will stop you. It'll be an extra barrier. It's hard enough trying to get to that point, but don't let it put you off, because it's definitely not. And this is just me speaking about the UK, obviously being in the UK. Okay, second point, because accounting is like not boring, but it's a necessity, sadly. I say sadly, I don't like finances. Like, I don't like doing all of that, but it is important, and it's important to know. So definitely get an accountant. Oh, before I move on, also make sure you get an accountant or a financial advisor, because they can advise on how you split your income from the company as the director, whether you're taking salary, whether you're doing dividends, whether you're doing a mixture of both. Dividends is where you're taking income dependent on the profits of the business. If there's more than one of you that is a shareholder, then that gets split. I'm not going to go into the like nitty gritty, because there's a lot of things that I'm still learning, and it's just definitely something to look into, because taking a smaller salary can decrease the amount of taxes that you personally have to pay, and dividends just means that there's a bonus there, because it's dependent on how good the company does, that you can choose how much you want to take out from that. But yes, make sure that you're speaking to a financial expert, because I am not one. So second, I would say make sure you're growing your network even before you've started your business. Even if you're just thinking about it, just speak to people that are already in the industry. Feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in starting your own business. Ask me any questions. I really don't mind. Feel free to comment below or hit me up on my socials at Maya Kipping, but I am happy to answer any questions that I possibly can. And just speak to people. It's so many people are willing to help. They're just a question away. A lot of the times I've ended up recommending this to a lot of people, where you ask for an informal interview. I say interview, wouldn't use the word interview. I would say going for a chat, because realistically that's what you're doing. It's the same when you're in the job market. So I'd recommend this if you're also looking to expand in your career, not just run your own business, not just work for yourself. Anyone that you aspire to be, or like their life inspires you in terms of their career, on LinkedIn you can reach out and say, would you be up for meeting for a coffee or a virtual coffee? Most of the time people will say yes, because you're just asking for a coffee, you're not asking for anything else. Sometimes people are too busy, but I mean, you're only asking for a coffee, so it's not that deep if they say no. But then you can have a conversation, pick their brain. Everyone loves a compliment. If you go, I am so inspired by you, I would love my career to look like yours one day. I was just wondering if you'd be open to grabbing a coffee. I'd love to meet you in person. You're paying them a compliment. Like, realistically, anyone that turned around and was like fangirling over me or fanboying over me, be like, yeah, sure, let's go have a coffee. Saying that, to be fair, if someone asked to go for a coffee, I probably would anyway. I love coffee, even though I'm having more decaf these days, but I will happily go have a little pumpkin spice or a seasonal coffee. Pick my brain, feel free. Like, I don't know everything. You've probably got things that you have learned in your journey, even if you're starting, that I might have missed out on. We can have a chat. You're exchanging value for value. So don't be afraid to speak to people. And also, these people can help down the line. People on LinkedIn, especially, I say LinkedIn because I'm thinking about business, they pay attention to what you're doing. They pay attention to your journey. If that means you end up connecting with people that you worked with 5-10 years ago, do it, because you don't know where they are now, you don't know who they know, and they could be so valuable to you. I have people that I've pitched doing social media management to, maybe 4 years ago now, and they're popping up now. Realistically, they could have popped up before. I'm just posting more on LinkedIn. I'm sharing what I'm doing. They're intrigued. They've been sat there watching my stuff all this time and thinking, maybe I should do social media, maybe not yet. And now they're like, actually, maybe now. So just make sure that you're posting updates. It doesn't have to be really, really regular. It doesn't have to be LinkedIn. I only say LinkedIn because I do think it's valuable in business. But wherever you are posting or wherever you are going and sharing, make sure that you are sharing what you're doing. That also includes, I mean, networking's such a big thing for me. That also includes if you are in a cafe, local cafe, someone asks what you do, don't shy. I mean, I sometimes still shyly or laugh that I'm like, I run my own business. I'm still in a bit of disbelief. It is what it is, like that's what I do. So being able to say to people, I do social media management and content creation, that's what we specialize in. And people go, oh really, what businesses do you do it for? I'm very much like, well, we don't have a niche in terms of industry. It's more making sure that we can help businesses that really want to grow. One thing that I am passionate about is I want to work with with minority-owned businesses and female-owned businesses, but that is not a limitation that we have with our business. Like, we work with everyone. That's it. Next thing you know, Billy, that I've just spoken to, is pitching to someone else because they're a web designer, and that person they're pitching to is asked, do you do content creation as well? And they go, oh no, I don't, but I do actually have someone in mind that I think I could put forward to you if that's something you're interested in. Here we go. We've got business. Someone else is creating leads for you. It is so valuable to tell everyone what you're doing, who you are, and just planting that seed. Who knows what it's going to grow to? And you might as well, like, tell everyone, be proud. And also it means that you get to practice your elevator pitch, which is literally a 30-second pitch, just as long as an elevator ride, 30-second pitch of what you'd say in like almost basically one sentence, so not even 30 seconds, to someone. So over the year, singular, I have nailed it down a bit more than what it was before. Mine is, I ran Creative Evolution, and we specialize in social media management and content creation for businesses that want to grow their community and their businesses online. I have over 5 years experience in social media management, and I want to translate that with clients that I love working with. Now, we do more than that. We do, like, there's lots of different services that we do. Like I said before, we do admin for podcasts. We've helped edit YouTube videos, podcasts. We've also done admin work for businesses where it's almost VA work. We have filmed and created content. We've done literally consultations, only scheduling content, strategy. Like, there's so much that we've done. However, the crux of what we do and the majority of our clients falls into that category. So obviously you'd adapt somewhat of your pitch depending on the person that you're speaking to. There's a client that has a podcast, I'm more likely to skew it towards podcasts. We've done podcasts before, we've done admin before. So being able to say that over what I might say to a small business that's a product-based business is going to be different. So you do naturally adapt, but that first initial elevator pitch, you hone in when you're speaking to more and more people, and it becomes way less daunting, especially when you've got people in your community that you're growing your network. They will help introduce you to new people. You get to go to networking events. If you're a bit like me, where sometimes you get a little bit socially anxious, there's people that I've brought along to different things. We've both gone to an event or something. We obviously go off and talk about, talk to different people, but just that initial going in, feeling a bit anxious, you're with someone then. But that still includes speaking to people in the first place. Like, a lot of the people that I do co-working with, we have like sessions where we not rant, but like we talk about our challenges and our wins. Every week we try to, but like every couple weeks it ends up being. But those people I met at a networking event, and they're local to me, and it's so valuable having that network. So it's something that I would definitely say it is about who you know over what you know. You can always learn. Building that network of people and that community of people is invaluable. I have been referred lately to so many clients, and a referral is like gold dust in comparison to pitching. Pitching obviously has its place and has its time, but referrals is like the golden sprinkle that you want, and you're not going to get that if you haven't built up your network, if you haven't spoken to people about what you do. Just do it. People also feel the same as you. Don't be thinking that people didn't start from the same place, that people aren't still anxious when they're talking, that it's taken them years to get to a point that they're comfortable talking about their business and what they do. We're all in the same boat, no matter how far along you are or if you've just started. So don't be daunted, because there's a massive community out there that's amazing. Another challenge is obviously when clients leave. Like, if you have a client leave, specifically in a service-based company, it can feel kind of detrimental. It can feel kind of personal as well, and it's really hard to get to that point that you remove emotion from it and realize it's a business, and that's kind of how business works, that people come and go, and it leaves space for new business to come in. I have a very positive mindset, and it's something that some of my clients really like about me. It's just sadly just part of life. That's what it is. It's a bit like having a breakup. You have a breakup, you end up then being with someone who you didn't expect to be with, and they're greater, or you end up learning an amazing lesson and you discover yourself again. Like, there's so many things that in life, that's kind of the challenge of life, that there's ebbs and flows, like ups and downs, and that is the same in business. It's just a bit hard hitting, not just income but emotionally, when you're having to deal with rejection of pitch pitching to so many people. I have sent so many proposals. Like, if all my proposals that I've sent had actually closed, and this is just honest because I'm not going to put myself down, but I'm not one of those cutthroat salespeople. I won't push someone into a corner if they are hesitating. I will hopefully guide them to what they want to do, whichever direction that is. However, I'm not one of those people that is going to like corner someone to then take my business, because I don't want people that don't want to be here. But that also does come with the caveat that there's probably proposals that I've sent that if I had pushed them, they probably would have signed with me. That's just part of my human nature, sadly, that I'm not that way inclined. I say sadly because yes, business wise that would be great, but I'm not that person. Like, I'm happy for the slow burn, for the slow grow of my business, to make sure that everyone wants to be where I am and with me and work with me and is happy to be here. I can't start on the back foot. But it is definitely hard facing rejection. After a while you become numb to it and you're like, yeah, on to the next. We move. You take some notes, whatever feedback you can get. Always get feedback. I am working on doing this more with my clients that I already have, getting feedback. I've been doing it in offboarding. If a client offboards, whether it's a one-off project, whether we have a fixed term contract, which most of my contracts are fixed term, or just like clients in general, to try and get feedback at different points so that then you can improve and it helps you moving along. So if you pitch to someone the proposal and they go, this just isn't for me, you can ask, sorry, can I just understand a bit why you aren't interested in working together, or what made you make this decision? Because it might be price. It tends to be price when people just haven't considered what to pay, or maybe it's just actually when they say price, they don't understand the value of your offering, and that's important to know. Maybe it's actually you haven't got examples of businesses like mine. Great, if that's the direction you want to go in, you can offer a either service exchange or limited time that is like reduced fee and start working with some businesses in that industry and revisit them. Just because you proposed once, if they're somewhat interested, you can reach out again. Don't class it as a closed door unless they've explicitly made it clear that they never want to work with you. Make sure you're staying in touch and seeing how their business is going. It should not be regular because they've said no, but I've done it before where it's like 3 months go down the line, you're like, hey, just wanted to check in, how's everything going with the business? So excited to see that you're growing online. And then you have a bit of a back and forth and it's like, were you still interested in having social media help? We've expanded so much over the last 3 months and would love to have a conversation again if you'd be open to it. Who knows, they might get to say yes. If they say no, you haven't lost anything. You haven't lost anything. If they say yes, bonus, you've literally gained someone that was before hesitant that is more likely to be open. They've seen your prices already. They've had the conversations with you. They know what your offering is. So if they're saying yes, they're more likely to be open to be joining. So I feel like I'm like aggressively like pitch, follow up, but do it because it's so worth it and it does pay off, because those people will also tell fellow people that like world is actually surprisingly small. So the better you pitch, the better you take it. You don't be rude, you don't, be dismissive, nothing like that. If you're genuinely yourself and kind and caring and respectful, then they're more likely to refer you to other people even if they are not interested. Bonus, you get referrals, that little gold dust I was talking about. So make sure that you're telling people, make sure that you are communicating, make sure you're pitching. Don't take rejection to heart. It takes time, but you do grow thicker skin. When clients leave, yes, financially it does hit, but then the positive of that is you working hard and you pitching hard and you gaining clients. You automatically get that reward, which sometimes you don't get in when you're employed in a company. I used to work really hard and how much I would fight for a pay rise, and sometimes you get rejected and you're still working hard. You're still doing the same job. You're still working just as hard as you were before, but still for less money than you feel entitled to. When you're working for yourself and you work hard, you can up your prices with clients and they will pay it most of the time, but you have the chance to negotiate, or you get a new client bonus that is literally money coming in because of you and your hard work. You literally get the reward of your hard work. You can see it translated compared to employment. That's just my view. I still think you can definitely expand on employment if that's something that you want to do, then, and that's the career path you want to take. I'm not putting it down at all. It's just, for me, I definitely feel like I'm a bit of a workaholic. So I quite like seeing that the work that I put in is responded to with the reward of being paid more because I've got more clients, or I've been able to charge more, or whatever that looks like. I am so grateful that I've got to 1 year. There's a stat of how many businesses fail in the first year, and I'm just happy to be over that hurdle. I also have a team that I've got to be grateful for. Even before we started the business, there were people that were helping helping me along my journey. So I have to give a shout out to May and Rose, because I honestly couldn't have been here without them and their help that has really helped grow Creative Evolution. So a little shout out to my team. Rose is still on the team, May isn't anymore, but I'm still so grateful for all of the things when I was starting out and was scared and worried. It felt nice to have a team with me. That's like a year in business. I'm excited for the next year. We've launched quite a lot in the last year. We've launched the Creator Evolution Collective, which I'll also link below, which is for UGC creators and content creators to help them grow, get brand deals, build their portfolio. And that's something that I'm very passionate about, because I've been on that journey myself, and I really do feel like the business is moving in the direction that I'm very happy with. We're adding value to the community. I feel grateful for that. I feel grateful for the clients that I've had over the last year. We've had 12 or 13 or 14 clients over the last year, which is amazing. That's something that I'm very proud of, and hopefully our work represents that. We've retained clients from when we started. Again, it's like huge. But I definitely think when you're starting your own business, when you're doing business, whether it's a side hustle, whether you are sole trader, whether you are run an Etsy, whether you've just started your business like as a limited company, celebrate the wins. If you get a lead, celebrate. Obviously don't start spending the money that you've pitched, because until the contract is signed, it doesn't mean anything. That's my motto I live by. I got so caught up before in thinking that, yeah, I'm gonna earn like X amount this month because I pitched this much and they seemed interested. Everyone can seem interested until they sign the contract. It doesn't mean anything. But that is not to say not to celebrate those leads coming in. Make sure that you're celebrating when you get new clients. When you lose a client, take a moment to like have a breath. Okay, what have I learned from it? What is their feedback? Why did they leave? What can I do better for next time? And work on retaining your clients. Don't just chase the constant churn of people wanting to grow. I think the slow growth is so important still, that yes, growth will come, but it's more valuable to have clients that are long-standing than just like churning clients in and out because you can't retain them because you're too busy focused on leads. So make sure you celebrate even the smallest wins. Make sure that you are building your community. It's so important to have a community of people that are in the same boat as you, or on the same journey, or at least understand, because you can share those like little grievances and annoyances with them, and it's so honestly so valuable. I can't put a price on how much it's made a difference. And surround yourself with people that push you. Constantly learning is so big when you start your own business. I've learned more about myself, matured more in the last year than I have for the rest of my life, just because your mistakes cost you more, so you have to learn from them. Whereas I feel like there's a bit of like leeway when you're employed, or when you're, I don't know, just going through the motions. It's a bit different when you're like bills are relying on you performing, on you getting clients, on you. Sorry, I say that and it sounds like so much pressure, but trust me, it's just one of those things that when you're constantly learning, you're constantly bettering yourself. And taking a minute, for me, like now, taking a minute and looking over the past year, I'm like, wow, we did so much. That's so amazing. I wouldn't have even imagined some of the things that I've done over the last year. If I went back and told myself maybe a year and a half ago what I would have done in the last year, I would have been like, yeah, right. So just take those moments to reflect, see the wins, see the lessons, see the learnings, and congratulate yourself, because at every milestone, it's tough and there's people that don't make it as far as you. And keep going. And I hope you like this video. I know it's a long one, but it had to be. It's a celebration one. So please give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more from me, please subscribe, and make sure to check me out on other socials at Maya Kipping on Instagram and TikTok. Again, if you want to ask anything, feel free to reach out. I'm also on LinkedIn, Maya Kipping. I'm on everything. If you want to check out my business or want to ask any questions or anything, just comment below or check out the links below. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye guys.